proud members of the Podbelly Podcast Network.
I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational. You can do it! But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life. So,
Are we live? Are we going?
yeah, we're recording, man. What's happening, dude?
I don't know, man. I want to talk about movies, mangoes, and generic Tide Pods.
Movies, mangoes,
Mm-hmm.
like the fruit,
Yeah.
and generic Tide Pods. All right,
Not
let's
the
go.
not the Chris Kattan character from.
Oh, you mean the mango?
So, yeah. So, what did I say first? Oh, movies. Let's talk movies first.
You had mentioned this morning that you were
Dude. Yeah.
when
we were just
Chris
talking about
Evans
this.
was funny.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about when Chris Evans used to be funny. And I was like, dude, remember the movie Not Another Teen Movie?
Yes,
That movie
I
was
do.
awesome. So anyways, that came up in my head last night. And so I watched it and it was phenomenal. It did not disappoint at all.
So, Not Another Teen Movie is like what the movie Scary Movie is to horror movies. Not
Yeah.
Another Teen Movie was to like the late 90s, early 2000s coming of age.
Yes, for
kind
all
of
you youngsters.
comedy,
And
yeah.
you people who would not have appreciated it at the time. Yeah, it was a spoof, but dude, I couldn't even remember or imagine how many movies they spoofed in that movie.
Oh,
I
dude.
mean, they hit some of the Brat Pack movies, like and Molly Ringwald even did like a cameo. Fantastic, man. Yeah, and they did like all of the like, what is it? She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You and yeah, just like
Which
all those.
I hold a special place in my heart for all those movies because that was like right when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Like it
And
was like
like the pinnacle of like the cool teen movies while we were teens. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
Even
like-
though all of the characters were being played by like 28, 32-year-old actors.
Not Another or what was it? Varsity Blues was a huge one.
Varsity Blues, what's that? Bring It On, dude. So
Yeah.
and there's so many actors in that movie, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Kyler Lee. Congrats
Ky-
to her. She just came out of the closet.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because she's on the show Supergirl, and she her character came out, and that was like her coming out too. So it's kind of cool. I read an article about it. She sounds
Interesting.
happy, so good for her.
Who else was in that movie?
Dude, everybody.
My internet is not working very fast right now. I hope.
Here, I'm gonna.
Oh, Jamie Presley,
Yeah, Jamie Presley.
Eric
I feel
Christian Olsen, who was like,
Oh, dude, and he's the one he's on. Dude, he's been on NCIS LA forever.
yeah,
and
and
ever.
he's like got a goofy looking face. So like, yeah,
Yeah, but he's like goofily handsome.
it's interesting. He was in Dumb and Dumberer.
Yeah.
That's an interesting transition from those goofy kind of weird movies to.
Oh
that.
no, but his character in NCIS LA is goofy as fuck.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh yeah, that he's kind of dude. If you ever seen that show, if you like procedural dramas at all that are also kind of funny and entertaining-
Bored. Just kidding. I don't.
Hey, man, it's
I
cool.
don't follow that shit at all. I know it's like I know that people love it. It's just so boring to me for some reason.
Oh, dude, I love it. But
Any
here's
of
the thing:
any
I
of
only
those
love,
cop shows, like I'm just like,
well, I only love the ones that are like that have like the really good like buddy cop thing going on, and that one, dude. Him and what's his name? Chris Evans.
Evans.
No, who's the guy from the Three Musketeers? He was like Robin in one of the Batman movies.
Oh, Chris
O'Donnell.
Chris
Chris
O'Donnell. Yeah.
Yeah, him and LL Cool J. They got a good little banter going on.
Did you know that the ladies
entertaining.
love Cool J?
Ladies love Cool James. Do you know how long it was before I realized that that's what LL Cool J stood for? I had no idea.
Dude,
Until,
Billy
like-
Bob,
Yeah?
aka Ron Lester, was in Varsity Blues and Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, he played a
He
parody of
played
himself.
Billy Bob,
He played
No,
a
he played-
parody.
Ronnie Ray,
was-
or whatever.
Yeah, but he played a parody of himself, which is hilarious.
He died. He's like, let's see.
Oh, did he?
Died in 2016, I guess.
That's sad.
Apparently from being very overweight for a long time. Who knows?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Vanderbeek. I don't want your life.
I don't want your life. Such a good movie.
Yeah. So, anyways, let me see who else was in this movie.
Lacey Chabert.
Oh, dude, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lacey Chabert.
What's funny, man, because she, her and Jennifer Love Hewitt were in Party of Five together.
I was just gonna say she's like Jennifer Love Hewitt light edition.
Kind of, yeah, but it's
like
funny
the Jennifer Love Hewitt starter kit kind of thing.
She plays the what was that movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Ethan Embry?
Can't Hardly Wait.
Can't Hardly Wait. So yeah, Lacey Chabert in that movie, she plays a parody of Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
They came up on the same TV show.
Yeah, that
anyways.
Funny.
So then after I watched that, I watched another movie, and this is a movie that when JB and I were in college, we had basically 3 movies on rotation, and we watched Van Wilder, Super Troopers, and probably my favorite, Out Cold, on rotation. So good,
dude.
So
cue this song. Gonna get in the car with a smile on my face and I found it all to be among a big girl and the family won't be back around again.
You don't know the words.
All right, I don't even know the words. I'm just like, yeah. Great movie. Great song at the beginning of a movie with like,
dude, so good. Deep
complete wipeouts.
Dude, one of the, it's funny. One of the guys in our fraternity, I'm not going to say his name. Like, I think he was in that band, like when they were like before they were big.
When they were E5.
He either got kicked out or he quit, and then he got replaced by the guy that made them actually famous.
They were Adam 6.
I don't know. I don't even know what Eve 6 means.
I don't either. AJ Cook.
Oh, dude. So, dude,
there's a lot of people in this movie too.
Oh yeah, dude. This was the first movie I saw Zach Galifianakis in.
Jason London, David Denman.
Dude, I can't tell Jason and Jason and Jeremy London apart, but I think they're twins. Are they identical twins?
I think they're identical twins.
Yeah, so they look
pretty.
Yeah, one of them was in Mallrats and the other one was in Out Cold, but to me they're the same person.
Dude, Lee Majors, Victoria Silvstedt. Lee Majors.
Oh, dude, I had a poster of Victoria Silvstedt in my dorm room freshman year.
Did you really? Yeah, she's not unattractive. No. She's from Skellefteå, Västerbotten in Sweden.
Västerbottoms. Yeah, dude. So them, AJ Cook, who she's been on Criminal Minds for like the whole time. Like,
God, another one of those stupid shows.
But dude, think about it, man.
Dude, I'm totally messing with you. I know people love those shows.
Well, but also, dude, as a career move, dude, if you can make it on a show that lasts like a show that's popular.
Oh, dude, like 10
plus seasons, dude, you're set.
Absolutely. You get those contract negotiations, and you're like,
his name? Champ from Anchorman. What is his name?
Oh, dude, yeah. Hold on.
Dude, we've probably lost all of our listeners by now because we're just like going down memory lane about stupid
David Ketchner.
Dude, he's hilarious.
Yeah, that's assuming we have listeners to begin with, bro.
No, we still have some people kicking around, even though we've been so shitty this year. Whammy! So, anyways, welcome to Project Reclamation, brought to you by our amazing podcast network, the Podbelly Podcast Network.
We.
Pig out on podcasts. Oink, oink. Yep.
And
dude, David Denman. Dude, he was the deaf guy in The Replacements, and he was Pam's fiance in The Office.
He was a badass in that 17 Hours movie.
13 Hours.
13 Hours. He was Boone.
Yeah, the one with what's his name?
John Krasinski.
Krasinski, and who's the dude? Schreiber, Pablo Schreiber, Liev Schreiber's brother.
Pablo.
It's so funny. Those two couldn't be more different. Liev Schreiber and Pablo Schreiber.
He gets typecast as that military guy a lot, I think.
But he's always like goofy, like kind of dumb but funny military guy.
Yeah, because he kind of looks goofy. I'm not saying he's dumb, but
and Liev Schreiber just has that better like the guy like resting asshole face, I guess you'd call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I don't know what the guy version of resting bitch face. I guess a guy can have resting bitch face.
RAF. Resting a-hole face, or the Royal Air Force. You know, I mean,
like RDF, resting dick face.
Oh, Jesus, we have derailed.
I don't think we were ever railed.
That's true. We are off-road. We're an off-road train.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Let me see. What was I going to say? We should probably add some content to this. So when it comes to movies, I think that sometimes go back and watch a movie that you haven't seen for years, but that you used to love, because there is I know we've already done a whole episode on nostalgia, but there's a nostalgic factor to it. And it was like, the soundtrack, the lines, like, dude, it all comes back to you. Like a flood of emotions.
When you mentioned Out Cold, it took me right back to the Blue House on College Avenue in San Diego. I could smell the carne asada fries from Los Panchos,
dude,
and the rolled tacos, like, and the the bad decisions that were made, the vomiting in the curb.
It smelled like carne asada grease and regret.
Yep, exactly. The regret tacos.
And Jack Daniels regret tacos.
Southern Comfort. Yeah, we've definitely lost our listeners now.
Oh man, dude, I can't do sweet alcohols. I haven't been able to for years. They're so gross. Like,
no.
Dude, I can't do Jaeger. I can't do Southern Comfort.
Last time I did Southern Comfort, you walked through a plate glass window.
It happens, dude. It happens.
Yep. That was a long time ago, everybody.
It was a long time ago. That was almost half of our lives ago.
Oh, wow. Don't say it like that.
That's depressing.
Yep. All right, moving on. Mangoes. They're delicious.
Mangoes.
They're nutritious.
They're okay. I'm not a huge fan because they're usually too sweet, but I think I've only had like the big mangoes with like the giant pit inside.
There's
and the ones
mangoes?
that are kind of like, there is, and this is why I wanted to talk about mangoes.
Okay.
So the ones that mangoes are kind of like red and maybe a little green. Well, anyways, there's little yellow ones. I think they're from Mexico, but
manguitos.
Kind of. I mean, they're not that much smaller, and so they have like a smaller pit, but they're a little bit more like, because I don't like super sweet fruit. I like to have a little bit of tart to my sweet.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. And dude, so these are like kind of the perfect mix of like, so dude, if you ever wanted to like, do some mangoes with a little bit of like some sea salt and some chili powder, these are perfect ones. Yeah, and then you just squeeze a little lime juice on top of that, dude. Bomb.
Dude, what sounds really good is wrapping them in like prosciutto.
Oh, that would actually be good. Yeah.
Kind of like, because you do that with pears. You can do like wrap pears in prosciutto.
Never.
And maybe like a little piece of Manchego cheese in there, just a little thin slice.
And like, I wonder, it'd be good, man, if you wrapped like mango, like you made them into like spears, wrap them in bacon and throw it on the grill.
Oh yeah. That's
because that just reminds me of like the bacon wrapped dates, bacon wrapped blue cheese stuffed dates. Best thing ever. Yeah.
So a buddy of mine works for, have you ever heard of the Peach Truck?
I could lie and tell you yes.
No. So it's basically a farm out of Georgia started this thing where they sell peaches all over the United States. And it's like a tour. It's actually obviously when they've, harvested peaches, but
okay.
A buddy of mine is kind of the tour manager. And we got some from them the other day. They have you can go check it out. No, we're not affiliated with them. It's just my buddy of mine works there. It's thepeachtruck.com or whatever, but they have
moving to the country,
gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
Exactly. But yeah, no, you were talking about mangoes, and I was like, we just had some peaches from there. It's expensive. It's like,
do you ever grill peaches?
I have never grilled peaches.
I've grilled mango. I've never grilled peaches.
But the same thing with it makes kind of a similar fleshy, sweet, not quite as tart, but yeah, could do the same thing with.
Peaches are usually too sweet for me. Can't do it.
Oh, so good, so good.
I don't
peaches might be good with the chili powder on them.
They would. They definitely. You could they're palatable. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the fuzzy fruits, but that's just me. I don't know.
Sounds like a band name, the Fuzzy Fruits.
The Fuzzy Fruits.
bunch of hairy gay dudes.
Hey man, that's cool. Hey, whatever you want to do. You do you, boo.
We're gonna get canceled.
So what's our so what was the third thing I wanted to talk about? I can't even remember.
Let's see.
Oh, dude,
movies, mangoes.
generic Tide Pods. Oh, so yeah, if you
Oh,
go to the
yeah.
grocery store, if you're like, if you want to try a different kind of fruit, and I think they were like 69 cents a pound or something, or 69 cents a mango. I'm not sure which. It doesn't matter. Just try a few. They're delicious. I made mango salsa last night. Mango papaya salsa. I did some mangoes, a papaya. I realized I'm not a huge fan of papaya. Like papaya flavored stuff I've had, whatever, it's okay. But yeah, papaya, not my favorite.
No, I feel like papayas are like mangoes, but they didn't quite make it.
Well, they're like too sweet, and they almost have like
There's no tartness. That's why.
No,
that's why I don't like them.
No tartness. So it was good. So anyways, I got mangoes, papayas, some jalapenos, some Anaheim chilies. I threw in a couple habaneros, and then a scallion, an onion, and some tomatoes. It was delicious.
Nice. That sounds.
And then I threw in some cilantro and a little bit of salt and pepper and some garlic.
Yeah.
And then I think I threw in some extra cayenne because it wasn't hot enough, and it still wasn't hot enough, but it was good. Yeah. And then we had some. Dude, I got this pork roast, and it was like Santa Maria style marinade. So it was like basically a tri-tip marinade pork roast, and I slow cooked it like all day long, and then I threw it in the broiler to crisp it up a little bit once I pulled it all apart. And we made some pork tacos with the mango salsa. Brett made some chimichurri, and then I made guacamole. You wouldn't think that chimichurri, mango salsa, and guacamole together would be good, but it was delicious.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It kind of makes like a sauce, like a pan sauce almost.
It's just like an umami, dude.
Whoa,
Seriously,
look at you busting out the culinary vernaculars.
Oh, dude, you're hitting all. Dude, that's all I do is watch. Like, I just watch YouTube cooking shows and make food.
Umami.
Sam, the cooking guy.
Nice. I know. You told me about him. I need to go check it out because I've actually been checking out this dude on YouTube called checking out dudes. The heck's his name? Hold on. It is. We'll edit this out because I was not prepared for this.
We're not going to edit anything out. We never do. We always say. I love how we always say we're going to edit shit out and then we never do. So while you're looking for it, I'll give my PSA on YouTube. If you're going to go to YouTube, if you're going to go to social media, and if you're prescribed to the Project Reclamation mantra of trying to stay positive, especially throughout crazy shit like pandemics and riots and whatever else is happening in the world, when you think the world's going to shit and you want to try to stay positive, when you go on YouTube, just keep in mind what you're watching.
Just watch cooking shows because it's always.
Just watch cooking shows because it's fantastic. Or
Dude.
Just watch happy shit. Go watch John. Speaking of John Krasinski from 13 Hours in the Office, go watch his Some Good News Network. That show's awesome. I love it.
Cowboy Kent Rollins.
Cowboy Kent Rollins.
This dude,
you know who else
he's a chuck wagon cook, like legit on
on
farms and stuff like or ranches. So he's basically like it's just all these. So just going down the list here, he's got Cowboy Po' Boy, the best pizza dough. Excuse me.
Bless
the
you.
best baked tater.
Baked tater.
Tamales. Goulash. It's just an unleavened bread cracker that they used to make on the ranches because they had limited stuff.
Because it didn't really spoil, right?
Yeah, you basically put like flour and water together, and then you like cook it with lard because you have fat around. You know, you have like animal fat around.
Well, and it was just and that gave you calories. Isn't goulash
exactly
just like anything that you mix in like a fucking pan?
Yeah, it's like a stew.
Slop stew. It's like
it's
like chili and stew had a baby. Shit on a shingle. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. The Cowboy Cures episode's pretty good. So basically, like, you know, he mixes this thing together.
Salt your meat and shit.
No. Like if you have like a stuffy nose, you know, like use garlic and basically, you know, garlic's a super antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. So like just having garlic in your system all the time will lessen the need for other, you know, Western medicinal cures and honey, like pure clover honey, especially local pure clover honey.
Just mix garlic, turmeric, and like honey together, and I feel
dude. So he has this thing on here where it's garlic, jalapeno, and honey. It's amazing. Like I kind of do it 2 or 3 times a week.
That's where you got this shit.
That's where I got that, dude. And like you can like spread that on toast, and it's kind of like a honey or like a what do they call it? Pepper jelly. But yeah, it's so good. And I've dipped all kinds of stuff in it, but the hot from the jalapeno and that real garlicky and then the sweet, it like hits every It hits your entire palate. But it's really good for you too, because
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna try that this weekend.
Dude, do it. He does cowboy coffee, like the OG cowboy coffee, making it one of those old school tin kind of things. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. But go check out Cowboy Kent Rollins. All kinds
Cowboy
of good
Kent
stuff
Rollins. Go check out Sam the Cooking Guy. Go check out. Well, I know they've the company. What is it? What is the guy? I know Bon Appetit's had some issues, but I don't think this guy had any issues. Brad Leone, however you pronounce his name. It's called It's Alive with Brad. He does a lot of like fermentation.
Oh, right on. I had no idea.
He does like, yeah. He's like their test kitchen manager or whatever. But yeah, there's a show, It's Live with Brad. Dude, he makes everything you could possibly ferment. He'll teach you how to make hot sauce, kombucha, sriracha, sourdough bread, everything.
Dude.
I tried making sourdough bread a few times. The last time I made it, it was delicious. But then I decided
not sour enough or too sour?
No, the first batch I made wasn't sour at all. The second batch I made was perfect. But I like my sourdough bread like really sour, so this one was pretty sour.
Gotcha. I like the super crispy outside on it, and then like the kind of doughy, chewy inside. All breads.
Mine was a little denser than I would have preferred, but the crisp outside was perfect. And apparently I should have let it rise in a different container so that I could get more of a ball shape rather than because mine was a little flat.
Gotcha.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And by the way, baking things in a Dutch oven is the shit.
See, that's what this Cowboy Kent Rollins does. It's all Dutch oven, all that kind of cooking. So,
cheese, bacon, cheeseburger sliders. Okay, we need to talk about something and not just go through I'm just making myself hungry now, and I'm not.
Well, and so you were talking about your dude that ferments and stuff like that. Those are skills that need to be learned again.
100%. Yeah.
Especially during this time where, just going to the grocery store now, dude, we went through Wendy's the other day. My wife and I, and they're not serving burgers.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Supply chain issues. That's the you start to notice with this whole thing. I'm not trying to throw us into that, but that's kind of the purpose behind the episode is how to stay positive in the midst of pandemic. It was so crazy, dude. We went and we couldn't get a burger. So it's wow, that's
which is weird though, because dude, the grocery stores are stocked with beef and shit, even though they say that there's shortages and stuff.
Well, and have you seen the prices of that beef lately? I got 2.5 pounds of ground beef from Aldi, and it was $13.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that whole, it's that frog in the pot, the hyperinflation. It's starting to come in on us a little bit.
There, what I was listening to. There's a farmer that Joe Rogan had on recently, and that was actually a pretty interesting episode because he goes into the whole thing about what's really going on because there's no supply issues. It's like you said, the supply chain, and I think there's more to it. But this isn't a conspiracy.
Well, they made everybody. They made all these, farmers kill their cattle and kill their pigs and stuff like that, because, there was no school. So a lot of those people provided meat, meat and stuff to schools and the dairy farmers and stuff.
But that's all the stupid factory farmers. He was saying, his farms like his that are some of these smaller factories. Well, also they had a bunch of outbreaks in these factories.
Yeah.
But,
Tyson and Smithville.
He was explaining how these factories work and how they're, factory farming is kind of disgusting anyways. Does that mean that I don't buy factory farm meat? No. If I could afford it, I'd always buy organic grass-fed meat from small farms, but I try, So what can you do? What can we do, JB? You know what? You can still go, dude, if you want a bunch of meat, you could still go on Butcher Box. I don't know if they still have a waiting list or not, but if they don't, their stuff's really good. You could get really good deals on Omaha steaks and stuff, and they'll have that shit delivered to your house in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's there.
Their prices really haven't changed. I think.
I know it was expensive to begin with.
Yeah. But you get. But dude, if you compare it, especially now, if you compare it to the price of the same quality meat at the store, then
that's
you're
true.
Still getting a hell of a deal. Also, what I've noticed is it doesn't look like the price of pork has really gone up. So maybe eat more pork. Pork is great. It's kind of a blank.
It's just not there anymore. I've been hard pressed to find it out here.
Costco has a ton of pork.
Do they? I know. I have a line on complimentary smoker. it says good things to you while you're smoking it. No.
Also, you know what?
A friend of mine has
find
a
your
smoker
friends.
that they haven't used.
Go find a butcher. Dude,
Yeah.
I want a smoker. Smokers are amazing.
Well, I feel like slow cooking, like we've been doing, you and I have been going back and forth with the whole slow cooking thing. It's kind of the poor man's way of doing it, just slow cooking, making it nice and breaking down those meat fibers and
dude,
stuff.
You want to know where else you can, you know where else they have a ton of meat? Dude, if you go to one of those Ranch 99 markets or any, like if you have a local Asian market, go check out one of those.
Yeah,
because,
the Latin markets or Asian markets.
Yeah, just go to or any, what do they call them? OPPs, other people's markets.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like the non kind of generic mainstream markets. Like there's, Ranch 99 is like a huge chain of Asian markets, and we've talked about it before. And yeah, there's like Latin markets. There's like a Cuban market I went to the other day. Yeah, I mean, if you go to them, like and you'll find stuff that you can't find at the grocery store.
Like lingua.
Yeah,
right.
You could find anything. They had whole rabbits.
Whoa, sweet.
I mean, they were already like field dressed or whatever, but the whole rabbit, I think maybe the head was chopped off or something. But
yeah, skinned.
I was like, Brett, maybe we should buy one of these so we can learn how to cook rabbit, because that might be what we have to eat soon.
That's crazy.
Rabbit,
I know, right?
Shoot with 22s. Yeah,
shoot with 22s, and hopefully you have some capers and saffron around.
Is that what you?
Delicious jackrabbit stew.
Is that dude? That guy. Yep. And then I looked at was it Serbian jackrabbit stew?
Does that look good?
Well, that's what he made.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's from. Yeah, because apparently jackrabbit is not. But if you eat rabbit, you can die from rabbit starvation. Because rabbit has no fat. If all you're eating is rabbits, you have to. Oh, dude, did you listen to that guy? What is his name? I talked about him last episode with Steve. Like Jacob Jonas, I think. Is it Jacob? I forget his last name. Anyways, he was the guy who won that last season of Alone. Where they drop all those people off and then they just have to survive alone. And then whoever survives the last person to tap out wins like $500,000. Anyways, I watched that season, and it was pretty good. But yeah, he was living off of like rabbits. So then he was the only one to get, like, he was living off of rabbits and like fish, and then he got himself a moose. And then there was a wolverine that was trying to steal his moose meat, and the wolverine ran off with a gallon of rendered moose fat.
Oh wow!
And then he ended up killing the wolverine with a hatchet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a video game.
Dude,
it's like Grand Theft Auto Outback Edition or something like that.
Dude, it was like Red Dead Redemption.
There you go.
He's like out in the wilderness, just getting attacked by animals and trying not to die.
Funny.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out to our good friend. Yeah, he's our good friend. Our Steve Ranella, meat eater over there.
Dude, even though I don't understand like half the shit they're talking about on his podcast, I still listen to like every episode. Well,
they talk a lot about like hunting regulations, and I'm just like bored. But
yeah, well, and some
I know it's stuff that you want to like. It matters.
Whoa, what is it? Texas Twinkie?
I don't know. Oh,
dude.
Well, let's.
Sorry, y'all. JB sharing a screen with me, and he's just scrolling through cowboy whatever videos. Are the listeners gonna hear that song that just played?
Probably.
Nice.
Spice it up in the kitchen, but you're afraid to. Even thought about calling Dr. Ruth? We are going to heat it up in the kitchen, spice it up. 2 versions of jalapeno poppers, Texas Twinkie, and armadillo eggs. Come on, things it's fixing to get
on now. Texas Twinkies.
Oh my God, this guy's amazing.
I know, dude. It's such a good, he's legit. He actually cooks for ranch
thank
hands
y'all for
and
stopping
stuff
by
like
the
that.
backyard. My name is Kent Rollins, and welcome to another episode of Cowboy Cooking. And we've been getting a lot of stuff coming down the hot wire. Oh, I mean, it is overloading the telegraph system here. Beagle and Duke can't even keep up with all y'all's requests. And what is that request? Jalapeno poppers. One is our version of a Texas Twinkie. Woo, got some cream cheese and some brisket stuffed in there that's been smoked slow. So good. But what is the other one?
Right,
you seen crawling around sometime in South Texas?
We're not on YouTube.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just put clips of this video on YouTube.
That's too
Not
short.
not
I'm
of
gonna do
us.
that.
Well, we
Oh,
just
I
put it
see
on
what you're
YouTube
saying.
because nobody watches this on YouTube.
No, because there's no video on our YouTube channel. It's just
Yeah.
it's just like the album art with our audio. Just because.
Yeah, we just won't. So that's
how I set it up.
go check out Cowboy Ken Rollins. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
He's hilarious, and he has some really good farm ranch cooking. Cooks through a chuck wagon. And,
Yeah.
he's
And you know
good.
what? Watching that'll take your mind right off of whatever crazy's going on outside.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
don't watch the news. Don't do any of that stuff. It's not good.
What's the news?
It's basically
We know what's funny. I think
depression pill.
It's the blue pill. Take the
Yeah.
red pill, y'all. Watch cooking shows and forget about what's going on outside. And then if you care to jump down the rabbit hole, go for that too. That's cool. But if you don't
Yep.
want to, that's fine too. Just listen
Yeah.
to us. We'll just talk about JB's YouTube history.
Mm-hmm.
Root beer roasted taters, cream cheesy chicken, grilled cheese.
Bacon, egg, ham, and waffle bake.
What? That sounds amazing.
Burger dog.
By the way, dude,
chimichangas, cowboy.
You can make anything in a waffle iron. I know I've said this before. but
Well, it's just like it's like a George Foreman grill with check on it, checkerboard pattern on it.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So what are we going to talk about this episode, dude? Like other than just rambling.
What's our timestamp here?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Well, whatever.
I probably should have put a timestamp because it was an option on Zoom, but
Who cares?
we're just kind of going after it, getting after it. Yeah. You there?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just trying to figure out what Juneteenth is. But that's too much. Oh, the people of Texas.
No, it has something to do with I think isn't it the day that slavery was abolished?
Oh, maybe oldest national celebrated holiday commemoration of the end. Oh yeah, the ending of slavery dating back to 1860. Why is it called Juneteenth though? That's weird.
Because it's
Doesn't
June
make any
18th.
sense.
I don't know.
I guess.
My dad's birthday today.
Is it really?
Yeah, he
Happy
would have been
birthday, Clark.
72.
If I had some liquor, I'd pour it out for you.
Right.
But it's 7 something in the morning, so it's not
He
gonna
wouldn't.
happen.
He wouldn't have wanted you to pour it out. He would have wanted
That's
you to
true.
drink it.
He would have gotten mad about
waste that
pouring out
shit.
the liquor. For sure, dude. So yeah. What are we gonna talk? I mean, here's the thing. I think I don't want to call them distractions because I don't think they are, but I think it's like keeping yourself busy. Like, and I think we've talked about this. Like, freaking, like dude, you want to just try something out and make some mango papaya salsa? Go for it. You want to go plant some shit? Go plant some vegetables. I have a bunch of vegetables. Half of them I've failed. Half of them I've succeeded. I don't know what I'm doing.
Here's the thing with vegetables for me. Like, you have to be on a schedule. So, like, you have to know first of all that what time you're planting them, what time of year. You have to know that vegetables will grow during that time. California, you really don't because it's like you're so temperate the entire year.
Yeah,
but like
but
out
even
here,
things like my dad was explaining, because my dad's got quite a green thumb. Shout out to you, Brian. Hey, it's my dad's birthday in a week or two. Yeah. But he was explaining to me like some peppers are all right in California through the winter, but like bell peppers, like they'll die in the wintertime. So you got to plant them at the right time so you can yield fruit that year, knowing your plant's going to end up dying in the wintertime.
well, yeah, and then you got to harvest it at the right time, and then you can use that soil, till up what you've got in there, to help,
But then there's
put
the
some more
Tim Frick
nutrients
approach.
in. Yeah, you just
The Tim Frick
put
approach is you
seeds
just
in,
buy a bunch of seeds and you plant them in little pots.
grow them, and then let them
then-
die without harvesting.
No. Most of them haven't died. My lettuce has all died, but I think it's because here's what I did. I was like, oh, most of these seeds aren't going to work, so I'm just going to put a bunch of them in there. But I put way too many, and so there's like too many little plants competing for water and food and stuff. What was that?
Sorry, it's my email. Keep going.
Oh, dude, I just got that was like my trigger sound for my MK Ultra. Now I need to go do something terrible. Oh, dude, I saw John Epperson on your email, and I thought it said John Epstein, and I was like, that's an unfortunate last name. If that was your last name, would you change it?
Yes.
I think I would immediately.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So yeah, what's where are we going with this? What's our point here?
Of the vegetables?
No, just everything.
Well, we're kind of just
Overall.
skirting the topics of things that we can do to maintain some sort of sanity and normalcy, moving forward,
Mhm.
so that we're not focusing on the quote unquote negative new normal that everybody's talking about. And, like you said, so we're watching cooking shows. That's positive. That's a skill that you're learning. We're
Yeah.
talking about old movies. That's, that brings back good memories. We're talking about, what you call it, plant and vegetables. There's a skill. If things were to go negative a lot worse, you'd probably need those skills. So cooking, growing food, that's what we're kind of talking about here. Things that we're kind of subtly hinting at. Obviously, what the elephant in the world that's there that you can't turn away from. So we're trying to turn away from it a little bit and focus on the good stuff. So,
well, also one of the things that it's interesting because I feel like there is a faction of people in our country, actually in the world, that want to kind of push everyone towards the metropolitan living, kind of like let's all live in giant cities. But then there's a lot of people who would rather go live in Montana or Wyoming or North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska, all these places where you can you get a lot of you get a lot of land for your money. Typically you can go hunting, so you can kind of be more self-sufficient. And it's interesting, back to that episode of Joe Rogan with that guy from Alone. He was talking about, he lived with these like I don't know what they call it. It was like the native people of like Siberia. They they herd reindeer. So they have
nice.
they ride them. They try not to kill their own reindeer, but occasionally if they need food, they'll harvest one of their own reindeers. They try to harvest hunt for other things and harvest wild reindeers. And then they just herd their reindeer, and they use the reindeer and them have like a symbiotic relationship. And anyways, he was talking about, but then they also have like kind of like their version of like reservations, like kind of like the Native American reservations here in the States.
Yeah.
And what he was saying is the people who still live the nomadic life they're happy, they feel fulfilled, like they're just generally they're in a better mindset. Whereas in these villages or reservations, whatever you want to call them, they run rampant with just alcoholism and depression and despair, and
because they don't have any purpose anymore. They're purposeless.
Exactly.
So
I think just, and not that I'm saying everybody go move to Montana or anything, but I think doing some things that kind of bring us back to a little bit of our, kind of cultural roots, or call it, roots as like a just human species in general, where you had to, live off the land, plant your own food. And even if that means, planting some pots on your balcony because that's all you got, that's, I think, a little bit of that kind of brings in a little bit more of that kind of purpose and that kind of happiness.
Well, that's why people who have pets, just like dogs and stuff like that, they're happier because they have a purpose. They have something to keep alive. It's,
that too, for sure.
I mean, it's the whole thing about the human life is supposed to have some struggle, because that's what you're kind of sharpened on the stone. That's the sharpness is the coming away of the old stuff, and you get you have a purpose.
Well, and I think for so many years, struggle was keeping food on the table, maybe not, not getting killed by the saber-toothed tiger or whatever. I mean, for thousands of years, humans have had struggle built in. And I feel like we've seen so many illustrations over, just the last few years, but over the last few decades of, if we don't have an actual struggle, we'll create one, or we'll kind of emphasize one or embellish one. And I think that we do need to have a little bit of struggle.
I call it the real world syndrome, where it's kind of the reality,
like the TV show back in the day, that
kind of reality TV syndrome in general. But when everything is so good, everything is laid out before you, you don't have to worry about anything. You end up blowing out of proportion the little things in your life. And I get it. Perspective is perspective. So I can't say that people who are struggling with littler things or bigger things, everybody's got their struggle, but I call it that because it's like, what are you guys complaining about? Like, why are you complaining? It's because people need to have a struggle. And if you don't have a struggle, you're going to manufacture one, like you said, out of whatever,
Right.
So
100%.
Yeah.
And we had a whole episode about that a long, long time ago.
The strugs.
It's called The Struggle is Real. The strugs are real, man.
Strugs, bruh.
All right, I think the last thing I wanted to talk about was in the midst of you're talking about hyperinflation and stuff, but hey, there are some great deals. So when you find them, take advantage.
Well, absolutely.
I was at CVS because and that's the other thing. Like maybe plan more ahead. I know that's something I've been doing a lot better because I used to be the guy that like I would go to the grocery store just to get like I needed a stick of butter, and then I would end up buying a bunch of shit I didn't need, and I never got good deals, and I probably spent way more money. Once I started paying attention to like my monthly spend, I was spending way more than like if I actually made a list and went and shopping for what I wanted. But what I wanted to say about generic Tide Pods, don't eat them, first of all. But I was at CVS because I was trying to find some like dishwashing gloves because Brett needed dishwashing gloves. But I was looking at the laundry detergent, and they had like Arm & Hammer like laundry pods, and it was buy one get two free, and I'm like, there's no fucking way this is real. Like, but whatever. So I grabbed three things of them. I take it up to the front. I was like, hey, is this really buy one get two free? Because that just makes sense. But he goes, no, there's no way. He goes, let me check. He goes, oh, I guess it is. So I got my buy one get two free, and then he called over one of the other guys. He goes, hey, I think someone got the sign backward, got the little thing backwards on the Arm & Hammer pods, because it should have been buy two get one free. But hey, I got my two free.
So here's something too, and this is kind of weird and random,
Sure.
but hopefully a good tip. If you are looking to invest something, I just checking on the gold price here, and you can see my screen, right, Tim? Gold is down 43%, and silver is down 94% right now. That means that whoever is in charge of this is buying a buttload of this stuff right now. So just saying.
But historically, I mean, gold and silver.
No. I'm saying that you should buy now, because
I'm agreeing with
the way that the market goes down, it will go back up.
Yeah,
because as soon as the dollar loses its, which it will, and I'm not trying to I'm by no means a professional at this. I'm just saying from what I've been researching.
We are not qualified to give financial advice,
by any means. But you see that when something like this goes down, that means that there's somebody in charge of that, and it's probably for a reason. So
dude, go
take advantage of the fact that it's low now.
Dude, go read about like like medieval times or pirates or any of these things. Like when they paid people stuff, or when they pillaged a city or a ship or whatever, they would always take the silver and gold, and that was like they were all things, like they were like silver chalices or like silver silver plates, that like it was stuff, and they could always melt it down. Dude, silver and gold have had physical value since they existed, since the time when we were like bartering with shells and like whatever rocks and shit. So yeah, it's no mistake that they still have that they're still worth something, because at some point, I don't know, if the financial system crashes, our digital money and our paper money aren't going to be worth anything.
Well, it wasn't there like a big thing of like with tulip bulbs in Belgium back in the day? Wasn't there like the whole tulip? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm bringing up this because apparently like tulip bulbs were like a huge currency back in the day. Like this is probably like just after Castle times. I don't know, because I don't know. Let's look it up real quick.
You can't eat a tulip. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know.
Let's see. The tulip Belgium. I don't know. Okay, we'll do this another time, but I obviously wasn't prepared for this. But it was another thing where the government shorted the whole tulip thing because it was literally like a commodity, and all that stuff. Look into it. Do your thing.
I will. We'll do an episode in the future about tulip bulbs.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I mean the bottom line is they had value for some reason. And I feel like the value of stuff, I mean, the value of money right now is because you can buy things with it. The value of stuff back then was that you could use it. And still there's probably a lot of, that same farmer episode on Joe Rogan, they were talking about, he has a farm where they raise, hogs and cattle. So he has meat, but then he's talking about, he has partnerships with other farms that, raise like soybeans and corn and stuff. And so they have like a barter system where they like trade goods, which is kind of cool.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's another thing, find a friend. Maybe you got really good at fermenting. So maybe they got really good at like baking sourdough bread. So maybe you're like, hey, I'll give you this bottle of kimchi for a loaf of sourdough bread. Boom, there you go. Look, we're back in like the 1600s.
Yeah, it's all about
in a good way.
The community that you
community.
keep.
Community.
Community.
And community is important.
Oh yeah, here you go, Tim. Look at this. Here's your.
What is this?
This is silver.
What am I looking at?
So this is from 1976. It peaked in 1980.
Jeez, look at that.
At 1,200.
Is that dollars an ounce or something?
U.S. dollars an ounce.
Wow.
And back.
Well,
so
I wonder why.
I don't know. I'm sure you could probably trace this back.
Well, that was, dude. You know what? That was that stagflation era, right? At the
So
Jimmy
here's
Carter's.
2008, and it peaked in 2000.
So every time the market
an ounce.
Every time the market crashes or the dollar crashes, which they're usually tied together, gold and silver are good. But yeah, dude, if you had invested in silver in 1976, you're still doing.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you could have bought it for $100.
$1,500 a kilogram. It's $46 an ounce.
Whatever,
but still, right now it's at $17.35. So
right, but what was it back in
76?
So if you'd invested, let's even say 78, right between
$5 an ounce.
So yeah, you could have bought it at $5, and now it's 46 or what? Not 46.
Well, and if you were smart in 2011, you sold it at 40.
Well, sure, but what is it right now? You said 14.
17.
17. So still, you would have tripled your money, more than tripled your money.
Yeah, over what, 35 years or 45 years.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or not.
Long game, but
yeah,
basically it's at a decent level right now to buy. Obviously, you probably would have wanted to buy it down back in 1992 when it was 367. But actually, I think I got a bunch of silver stuff when I graduated, so they bought it.
You?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Sweet. Well,
right on.
Basically, the takeaway from this episode is go watch some old movies that you like. Maybe try those little mangoes that Tim's talking about. Go watch Sam the Cooking Guy and Cowboy Cam Rollins on YouTube to kind of a little pick me up, learn a skill, maybe plant some vegetables. And if you got a little extra money lying around, maybe go buy some precious metals because the governments around the world are doing it right now. Why shouldn't we?
Yeah. Take a page out of their book because they're always doing fine.
I'm just saying, tangible goods to be able to circumvent this whole meltdown of the fiat currency that we have been not going to get into that.
No, keep yourself busy and focus on the stuff that matters because, sometimes there's stuff that matters that, that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Because a lot has, but that's the message. That's all I got, man. Until next time, peace out.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.